I used to think I had it good. I didn't worry about bills or rent or anything really. My mum took care of all that. I just lived. And then one morning, she was gone. No warning, no goodbye. And everything she held up came crashing down on me. And I was nowhere near ready to carry the weight she left behind. Before we dive in, this is a brand new channel. So if you want to support it, just like the video and hit subscribe. It takes a second, it's super easy, and it helps more than you know. Thank you in advance. Now, let's begin. I was 20 when it happened. Up until then, life had been easy. My mom took care of everything. Bills, meals, chores. I didn't even know how to cook, and I'd never had to work a day in my life. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. Our little apartment in the city was enough, and I didn't think about anything beyond my games or TV shows. I didn't need to. Mum worked a regular desk job, and I took that for granted too. She kept us afloat, never asked for anything in return. And I didn't appreciate it. Then one day, it all stopped. She collapsed in the kitchen. I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. She never woke up. I didn't know how to process it. Everything I thought was permanent, gone in an instant. I was left with nothing. No skills, no plan, no idea what to do. Just lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. It felt unreal, like I was waiting to wake up from a nightmare. But the silence around me kept hitting me over and over, like it was real. And it hurt. I kept expecting her to walk through the door, but she never did. I didn't know how to handle the simplest things. Cooking, paying bills, taking care of myself. I didn't even know where to start. The apartment felt so empty, but I didn't know how to fill it. I'd sit there, staring at nothing, wondering how everything had changed so fast. But I couldn't grasp what had happened. I couldn't even make sense of it. It was like I was floating, not part of this world anymore, but too afraid to figure out what came next. I had no plan, no answers, just confusion. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't breathe. The weight of everything hit me all at once and I just froze. I stood there in the kitchen, staring at the stove like I'd never seen one before. My hands were shaking, my chest was tight, and I couldn't make myself move. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't even know how to heat up leftovers. It felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, and any wrong step would send me tumbling into the abyss. But it wasn't just the cooking, or the bills, or the job hunt. It was everything. The world felt like a massive puzzle I didn't even have the pieces for. I tried to open an envelope with a bill inside, and I couldn't even get the damn paper out. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set it down. I don't even know how to pay this, I thought. How do I do anything? The thought hit me harder than a punch. How had I not known any of this? How had I let myself live in such a bubble, where every little thing was taken care of for me? I thought I had all the time in the world, but now I was drowning in it, alone. And then the job applications. God, I couldn't even start. The cursor blinked at me, mocking me. I was sitting there like an idiot, staring at the screen, but my mind was empty. I didn't know what to write. How could I possibly compete with everyone else who had experience, skills, and a plan? I had none of that. Nothing. Just an empty page. That's when it all just broke. I couldn't keep it together anymore. I stood up, feeling like the walls were closing in, and I started pacing, my mind spiraling faster and faster. How do people do this? How does anyone survive in this world? I felt the panic rising in my chest, my heart racing. It was too much. It felt like everything was crashing down on me. like the weight of the whole world was pressing in, and I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was suffocating. I couldn't think, couldn't see clearly. I was drowning. I fell to the floor, my hands gripping my hair, tears blurring my vision. I can't do this. The thought circled in my head like a broken record. I'm not prepared. I don't know how to survive without her. I was alone. I couldn't even remember the last time I cried. But there I was, on the cold kitchen floor, completely broken. I couldn't handle this. I didn't know how to handle it. Every time I thought I could catch my breath, the world threw another responsibility at me, like a weight I couldn't lift. The bills, the food, the job search. I was failing at everything, and I couldn't see a way out. I wanted to scream. I wanted to disappear. But the world didn't care. It didn't stop. It kept moving, spinning, and I was stuck, helpless, gasping for air. I was falling deeper, and I didn't know how to stop it. I thought I couldn't go on, that everything was too much and I was drowning. But the world didn't stop, and neither did the rent, or the hunger, or the mess around me. So eventually, numb, maybe, but still breathing, I got up. That's when I found it. The card with my mother's name on it. It was buried deep in a drawer beneath old receipts and scraps I never bothered to throw out. I'd seen it before, but it hadn't meant anything until now. Not until desperation made every option feel reasonable. The rent was overdue. Power bills were piling up. I had no clue what I was doing, but I needed to buy time, and that little rectangle felt like the only way forward. No hesitation. I took it, walked to the bank like I knew what I was doing, transferred enough to cover the essentials, rent, a couple of past dues, just enough to keep the world from caving in another inch. There was still that hum of panic beneath everything, but for a brief moment, something in me quieted. A little stillness, like I'd plugged one of the leaks. That night, I brought home real groceries, not frozen pizza or chips, actual ingredients. I'd saved a recipe video days earlier, something with pasta and eggs, simple, doable. I wanted to try. Music played while I moved around the kitchen, low and steady, just enough to keep the silence from creeping in. The smell of garlic filled the air, clumsy but warm. The result? Edible. Not amazing, not awful, but it felt like progress. The next few days just happened. I cooked a little, ate in silence, let things be. It wasn't good, but it wasn't falling apart either. One evening, I came home with another bag of groceries, ready to try a different recipe. I kicked something on the floor, papers scattered across the tile. Mail. A few envelopes slid under the fridge. I didn't care enough to bother. Stepped over the rest and headed straight to the kitchen. The food turned out okay, better than the last one. I actually felt proud for a second. I sat down at the table and ate without the TV on. The quiet didn't bother me this time. Later that night, I noticed a fly buzzing near the sink, then another. The trash smelled off. I couldn't ignore it anymore, so I started cleaning. Slowly. Took out the trash, washed the dishes, wiped the counters. It felt like untangling something in my chest. The more I cleaned, the more I could breathe. I moved around the apartment, tossing wrappers, folding blankets, wiping dust off surfaces I hadn't looked at in weeks. When I got to the counter, I saw the rest of the mail still scattered there. Bills, ads, whatever else had been building up. I gathered it all into a pile, thinking I'd just throw it out, but something in the stack caught my eye. A thick envelope, different logo. I didn't remember seeing it before. I opened it without a second thought. "We've noticed unusual activity on your account." I stopped. The words didn't register at first. I skimmed the rest, still not fully processing. Then my eyes landed on the line. Unauthorized charges will be investigated. Your account has been suspended until further notice. A sick feeling dropped into my stomach. Wait, what? I stared at the page, willing the words to change. Unauthorized? Suspended? I wasn't trying to steal anything. I didn't even think about it like that. I was just trying to survive. I needed to pay rent. I needed time. That's all. How could that be wrong? But now it was real, tangible, heavy. I thought about calling them, tried to imagine what I'd even say. I used my dead mum's card? I couldn't even form the sentence in my head. The idea of speaking it out loud made my throat close. I paced the kitchen, then the living room, letter in hand. My mind spiraled. I didn't know what to do, couldn't undo it, couldn't fix it. I dropped the letter on the table and sank into the chair, heart pounding. I had thought I was managing, thought I was figuring things out, but I wasn't. I was drowning. I didn't sleep much after the letter, maybe an hour here or there, in half-conscious bursts between spirals of panic. I couldn't sit still, couldn't eat. I'd pick something up, forget I was holding it, set it down, and walk away. I checked the front door a dozen times a day. Every sound from the hallway made my chest seize. I Googled things I shouldn't have. Unauthorized use of deceased relative's card. Is it fraud if the account is still active? The words that came up, penalty, felony, prosecution, felt like knives against my ribs. I closed the laptop mid-sentence. I didn't want to know. For a while I stopped going outside. I'd open the fridge, stare at what was inside, then close it again. Stood in the shower until the water went cold. I'd pace, then sit, then pace again. Like if I just kept moving, maybe I'd outwalk the consequences. But nothing happened. The next day passed, then another. Still no call, no knock, no badge at the door. I started breathing again. A little at first, then more. I cleaned the kitchen again, not frantic this time, just because it felt gross. I made coffee, actually drank it. I even folded some clothes and thought about what to make for dinner. The letter sat on the table for a while before I shoved it in a drawer. I didn't want to look at it anymore. It hadn't changed, and nothing was coming. Maybe it was just a warning. Maybe they send those out automatically. Maybe no one cared. I laughed at something on the TV that night. I don't remember what it was, just that I laughed. A real one. The next few days blurred together in a way that didn't feel dangerous anymore. I cooked again. I watched movies. I cleaned the bathroom. I lived like someone who thought maybe, just maybe, they'd gotten away with it. Then came the knock. One, hard thump on the door. Not rushed, not angry, just certain. I was rinsing out a mug when it happened. The kind of moment you don't think twice about, until you do. I stood there, water still running, mug in hand. The knock came again. Louder this time. My legs moved on their own. I opened the door. 2 officers, a man and a woman. The man was the first to speak. "We need you to come with us." My stomach dropped. I backed away without meaning to. "Wait, what is this? You can't just come in here. This is my apartment." I looked around like the walls might protect me. My voice cracked, spiraled upward. "I haven't done anything. Do you even have a warrant?" Then the woman spoke. Calm. Firm, not cold. "Hey, you're not in danger. But you need to come with us now, okay?" That's when I looked at her, and I saw it. Not in her face exactly, but in the way she said it. In her voice. Her stillness. The kind of steady you only know if you've heard it when you were small and scared. Just like my mum. Everything that had been holding me upright just let go. Tears hit before I could stop them. I didn't fight. I didn't speak. I just stood there with tears shaking as they reached for my wrists. I was tired of pretending I could hold it all together, so I just stood there, let them take me, silent, shaking, just wanting someone else to carry the weight again. Quick question before you go. Do you know someone who's never really had to stand on their own? Someone who might fall apart if life stopped making things easy? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. And if you have any feedback to help me improve, I'd love to hear it too. If this resonated, a like and a subscribe means the world, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. New stories drop 3 times a week, and I'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.